Then perhaps I'll have to use one of the oldest spells ever crafted. Magician's Brick!
Hello, I'm Nardo D&D. I do all sorts of homebrew 5e D&D stuff, like converting old 3.5 D&D stuff into modern 5e D&D stuff, and today I have 10 cantrips that I have meticulously designed for you all to work well with your 5e spellcasting needs. My goal with these cantrips is to create goofy spells that fill niches that are not yet covered by the existing spells and cantrips in current 5e D&D. Now, if you do find that you enjoy these spells and are curious as to what I make next, I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe to stay tuned for it, or if you just really enjoy the video, I would love a like to let me know. But the best thing you can do, if you really want to let me know that you enjoy these videos, is commenting down below and just letting me know your thoughts on the content. Now, without any more delays, let's get into the first cantrip spell for 5e D&D that I've prepared for you today. And that is Egg. Egg is a conjuration cantrip. The casting time is an action. The components are somatic. The range is self. The duration is a minute. And this spell allows the caster to conjure a quail-sized egg, it's very small, that disappears after the duration. The egg may act as ammunition for a sling, or can be thrown using a normal range attack with 1d6 bludgeon thrown 20/60. As part of casting of the spell, the egg may be thrown as a range attack or fired from a sling. So it's all like one action to like cast and throw, cast and launch, cast and toss the egg. The egg may be eaten as a normal egg, but will not provide any sustenance as it disappears after 1 minute. Now, the way the spell gets actually kind of wacky is in the cantrip upgrade section of it. So as you gain levels, what's going to happen to the egg? I want to know more about the egg as you level up. The caster may cast any version of the cantrip once they achieve the caster level. So at 5th level, the size of the egg may increase to a chicken's egg, increasing its damage by 1 when thrown or used as ammunition. At 11th level, the egg's size may increase again to an ostrich egg. It may no longer be fired from a normal sling, but if used as a weapon, the damage is increased by 2. And at 17th level, the egg's size remains ostrich, but scales grow on the egg to make it more dragon-like. When you cast the spell, now you may choose any damage type. When this egg is used to cause damage, it deals an additional 1d6 plus 2 damage of the chosen type. This is very much reminiscent of the old like first edition spells where they have like wacky like, oh, this deals 1d4 plus 2 damage and it needs funny silver balls and you create a dog that stands here for 2 days. Like it's quite a wacky assortment of rules and intricacies that you can interact with that doesn't really fit being a wizard too much because you have to be quite martial to throw an egg. However, being that the classes available for it include druid, a ranger in theory learned this using the druidic option that they gain to gain a cantrip from the druid class, gain this and use as be like a slinging ranger and just have this egg as part of their like repertoire of tossing things around. It can be quite funny. You get a little damage of flavored at all the way at 17th level. You'll finally be able to do an extra 1d6 plus 2 damage of a type. That's just goofy. It's not very good, but it's quite flavorful. And in the end, what do you want in an egg besides it being flavorful, right? All right, next one. Heatwave. It is an evocation cantrip. The casting time is an action. The range is self. The components are verbal and somatic. The duration is instantaneous. This spell allows the caster to heat up his body to an extreme degree and unleash that heat in an emanation originating from himself. All creatures in a 5-foot emanation from the caster must make a strength saving throw or take 1d12 fire damage and be pushed directly away from the caster 10 feet. The caster does not roll a save but takes half damage when this spell is used. So you heat your body up real nice and hot and you blow the load out around you. However, it's kind of hot and you're still human, and this cantrip doesn't have the fail safes to not hurt you, so it just burns you a bit as well. And cantrips that deal 1d12 damage usually have some kind of funny drawback to warrant such a large die, and I thought taking the half damage is fine. If you can manage to get fire resistance for yourself, that's just a quarter damage. That's basically nothing, and you're just like AoEing d12s and bursting around just for fun. That's just a nice time. I think that's pretty neat. A little bit of a hot blast, and it's good to like get things off of you. They pushes you away, but then you can like then move out of the way, maybe run away if it gives you enough space. 10 feet's a lot. You can knock someone off a chasm. Knocking people off chasms is a vital role in D&D to play, to bring to a party. You need to have someone who, you need the tank, the DPS, the healer, and the knocker into the chasms player. You know, those are all the 4 vital pillars of play when you're doing combat. Let's move on to the next one. Shattered Glass. Purpose is in dealing damage, but it also has a little alternative. So let's read it. There's an evocation cantrip with a casting time of an action, a range of 30 feet. Components are verbal. The duration is instantaneous. The spell allows the caster to shout in a directional manner that targets a single creature but is audible to anyone up to 100 feet away. This shout can either be directed to the target's ears, in which case they must make a Constitution saving throw, or take 1d6 thunder damage and be deafened until the caster's next turn. Alternatively, the spell can be targeted towards something the target has on their person to destroy one mundane object made of glass currently in the target's possession. In this case, the target must succeed a dexterity saving throw or have the mundane glass object chosen by the caster shatter. So they have their little vial, little healing potion vial that they have wearing. It's dangling about. You yell, boom, it shatters. They trapped the fairy that you're trying to rescue in a little glass container. Boom, you yell at them, shatters. They're trying to move out of the way. That's why dexterity saving throw, to like put their body between you yelling and the thing shattering. So that's why it's dexterity, because their constitution isn't going to save the glass from being protected, if that makes sense. That's why I thought it would need a different saving throw for that. And then the cantrip upgrade version, it just increases the damage it deals when you target a person by a d6 at the appropriate levels of 5, 11, and 17th. And yeah, that's what Shattered Glass is about. Let's move on to the next one. Here we get Animal Interrogation. It is a divination cantrip. The casting time is 1 minute, the range is 10 feet, and the components are verbal, semantic, and material. You need berries or jerky, probably depending on the animal. I'll let your DM decide on that one. Duration is instantaneous. So this spell allows the caster to interact with an animal for the casting time. The caster must remain within range of the animal the entire time. At the end of the casting time, the caster may ask the animal one question, and the dungeon master will answer it to the best of the animal's ability to know the information. This does not let the caster speak to the animals. The animal, through a series of scratches, grunts, and shuffles, and semi-believable pointing, answers the question. This spell also does not make a hostile animal docile, but will assist in making a non-hostile animal not flee. This spell may still be used on a hostile animal, but will not prevent that animal from attacking the caster. Any damage caused during the casting of the spell will subject the caster to a concentration check to continue casting the spell. So it's just a fun way of trying to figure out where the baboon's watering hole is, in a metaphorical and literal sense. So if you're trapped in the desert and there is a band of baboons following you may be trying to think, oh, they surely know where water is since they live in this area. We should try to figure out where the watering hole that they frequent is. So you would try to use this spell on them, but maybe they're hostile. Maybe it turns into a game of trying to keep the baboons off of the caster until the caster can make the spell work. It's like a tricking of the animal to reveal where the watering hole is. Or you're just trying to befriend the deer and like feed it some berries, and then it clicks its foots a few times, and it's like, oh, the evil orc fortress is just beyond this clearing over there that I've seen. You know, that kind of thing. It's just to get some funny information out of some funny animals, which is very druid, ranger, bard, naturey cleric like ability to have. So it's a fun thing. I could definitely see this being used in a campaign where someone's a naturey person, and there's always a naturey person in a party. You need one. It's like, it's a genre to have a naturey person in the party. It's good for the game, even. Next one is Feign Life, which is like Feign Death, but worse. It's a necromancy cantrip. Casting time is 1 action. Range is touch. Components are verbal, semantic, and material. The material being 2 broken coins. Duration is 1 hour. This spell allows the caster to touch a dead body and give it the appearance of breathing shallowly. The spell infuses the target corpse with enough essence to contract its muscles in a way to mimic what breathing would look like. A medicine check against the caster's spell DC will reveal the truth to the one inspecting the corpse. So this is just if you're trying to weekend at Bernie's some guy, like maybe you use this on the corpse and then you have it like puppeted along. It's like, oh no, he's fine. The guildmaster is great. You definitely should give us a reward for completing this job. He didn't just die the second we turned it in, and now we have to make sure he lives throughout this soiree in order to receive our proper reward. You know, that's like that kind of scenario. That could be kind of a goofy one to do to make him like look believably alive. Or maybe it's like you got to return them alive, like the bounty wanted poster kind of thing, like return alive, and you're like, oh, we had to knock him out, he was being unruly, so he's just sleeping right now, but you can see him breathing, so there you go. Can we have a reward, Mr. Sheriff Man? And then you guys flee town, and then that's just how it goes. That's pretty all right. I think that there has some legs is what I'm saying. Next one is Way Down, which I quite like. This one I think is quite flavorful. Way Down is a transmutation cantrip. Casting time is an action, range of 60 feet. Components are verbal, semantic, material, being a feather, and the duration is instantaneous. This spell allows the caster to focus on a piece of equipment on the target and cause that piece of equipment to drastically increase in weight. The caster chooses a piece of equipment on the target's person. The target then must make a strength saving throw or suffer the effects depending on what piece of equipment was chosen, and you have 3 options here. For anything being held, it is dropped immediately if they fail the saving throw. If it is an armor or clothes being worn, they are knocked prone if they fail the saving throw. And if it's footwear, their speed is reduced to 0 until the end of their next turn that they take. So that's pretty neat if they fail a saving throw. But if they pass a saving throw, nothing happens, just like most cantrips. So that's just fun. You try to like disarm the guy. You like, oh, that shield looks a bit heavy, and you just wang him. Being able to knock something prone with the cantrips, very handy, very helpful to boost up your marshals, to let them beat on him with advantage if he's on the floor. That's just handy and fun to do. I think Way Down is pretty nice. I would take Way Down as like a funny wizard. It's like the perfect, like, not throwing a firebolt into a melee, but actually like helping the melee out kind of thing. Pretty neat. Next we have Goading Distraction. This one is peak knock-off cliff potential for character pillar. So Goading Distraction is an illusion cantrip. Casting time is an action, the range is 60 feet, and the components are verbal, and somatic. Duration is instantaneous. This spell allows the caster to infiltrate the mind of the target and create a goading or taunting figure that elicits anger in the mind of the target, causing them to rush towards that figment. The caster chooses a target creature. That creature must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature uses its reaction to move 15 feet in a straight line in a direction of the caster's choosing. Off the cliff, real fun, into the water, off the boat, that kind of thing, over the edge of the tower, that kind of, over the parapets, off the ramparts, you know? The perfect spell for the funny illusion distracty kind of guy to be like, oh, now he's off. And it also brings up something that I like to have in my home games that is actually quite a controversial homebrew rule, or home rule, whatever you want to call it. So normally in D&D, forced movement does not trigger opportunity attacks. That's like the rule in D&D. However, I think that's lame and I don't like it. I like having forced movement trigger opportunity attacks because you're still leaving the threatened zone, regardless if it's you doing it on purpose or not. So that's like fun. And if you play with that rule, then this would trigger some opportunity attacks. So that's just more enabling martial characters. So that's just fun. Tell me what you think of that rule, because that one is a bit controversial. It's a bit like game warping. It makes certain spells a lot cooler, like Thorn Whip, for example. The pull, that suddenly like can trigger a reaction opportunity attack. That's kind of neat. So you guys can think of that. That's a little tangent for you guys to think on. Next one is Gyroscopic Stability. What a funny name. This is an abjuration cantrip. Casting time is an action. Range is touch. Components are verbal, semantic, and material. The material being a piece of iron. Duration is concentration up to 1 minute. Because it's a cantrip, it's not like that good. It's not like gonna last that long. This spell allows the caster to touch one willing creature to give them a secure sense of balance and stability in both their posture and footing. If the affected creature would be subjected to the prone condition, the spell ends and they are instead not prone, as they flip and rotate in a manner to land on their feet perfectly. In addition, while under the effects of this spell, the target has advantage on acrobatics checks involving balance. So if they have to walk a tightrope, if they have to shimmy across a ledge, that's like acrobatics with advantage, sure. But more importantly, you get to cancel out one knock prone condition. That's pretty funny. If the evil wizard casts Way Down on their armor and they fail the saving throw, if they have Gyroscopic Stability cast on them, boom, they do a little flip and they land back on their feet how they would if they were a funny cat. But you know, they're gyroscopically balanced. They're very, very good on footing. This would be kind of neat for an artificer, like trying to install boots or something, or like extra cool gizmos on the party members' gear. Like that will be flavorful in that kind of sense. So that's kind of neat. You can think of it that way. Next one, Intoxicate. It's an enchantment cantrip. Casting time is an action. Range is 60 feet. Components are verbal, semantic, and material. Material being wheat. Duration is instantaneous. This spell allows the caster to fog the mind of a creature as if they have been drinking heavily. The caster chooses a creature within range and they must make a charisma saving throw. On a fail, the target suffers from the poison condition even if they are immune to poison. This effect lasts until the caster's next turn. What suffering from the poison condition means is they have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. And the reason why it would affect even if they are immune to poison is because they're fogging the mind, the brain mechanisms to make it seem like they're intoxicated. So they're not actually being poisoned. There's nothing affecting their organs and such. This is a magical fog in their mind, which just gives them the illusion of being poisoned, the enchanting of the brain, the fogging of the mind, you know, that kind of thing. And the cantrip upgrade is actually quite strong. The number of targets creatures increases by 1 when you reach character levels 5th, 11th, and 17th, which is very handy. So then at 5th level, you can target 2 guys and boom, they have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks for a turn. So that's kind of handy. That's kind of neat. You're just like debuffing around the town. Next one. The last one we have here is Shadow Blast. It is an evocation cantrip. The casting time is an action. The components are verbal and somatic. The range is 15 feet and the duration is instantaneous. This spell allows the caster to blast a concentrated force of shadow directly away from them. The caster shoots a line of shadowy energy in a quick burst. The line is 5 feet wide and 15 feet long. Anything caught in the line must make a dexterity saving throw or take 1d8 force damage. So this is like an AoE, but it's a line AoE instead of like a cone or a circle or like your emanation around yourself. You know, it's just like a little straight line, just a little blast right in front of you. Great for corridors, great for those hard to reach places behind the couch, you know, that kind of thing. You just shoot this beam or this energy blast or the shadowy blast of force, and it's a dex saving throw, very standard. Most things have that, so it's not going to be like the best all the time. It's an AoE, which is quite handy. Great for swarms, because swarms hate AoE damage, because that's like their whole thing. So great for cleaning up lots of spiders. So there you go. And that's the last one. That's all the cantrips I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you liked at least one or two or all of them. You know, ideally I hope you like all of them, but you know, I hope you get at least one use out of it. Maybe there's one that you enjoy. It's like more than the others, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna write about that one in the comments. You know, that kind of thing. So thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you really enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more stuff. There's a PDF with all of these cantrips in the description that you can go check out. Let me know what you want to see next, whether it be prestige classes, more spells, other subclasses, maybe more weapons or items, armors, those kinds of things. I want to do all kinds of D&D stuff. I'm just chock full of ideas, and they're just seeping out of me. Check out the other videos, and just for the members today, I released a prestige class for just the members to have a look. I tried to make one that no one has asked for in the comments so far, so it didn't feel too bad. So you don't feel bad about like being a member and not getting to watch it. Like no one has asked for this one, so it's not like that like popular of a prestige class. But I just wanted to do something for the members who were so nice and made me feel so nice about wanting to show some love to me by being a member. I wanted to show some love back by making a little video just for them as a little treat, so that you guys can go and check that one out. That comes out at the same exact time as this video. Anyways, cats' livers are so efficient that they can safely drink salt water. Bye bye.